All right, folks, this is another episode of Potheads Love Movies. I am a pothead that loves movies. My name is Jay Focus, and I'm here to talk to y'all about the motherfucking Conjuring 3. The devil made me do it. Now, full spoiler alert for the entire fucking Conjuring universe, because I have watched all of the universe in 24 hours before I actually got to the new Conjuring 3. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I think you guys will appreciate my analysis and breakdown on the entire universe and why it led up to this point, and also why I feel the way I do about the film. And I think it's going to be a really interesting take, guys. So, with no further fucking ado, this is Potheads Love Movies, Episode 2, Conjuring 3. So just as an overall synopsis, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one of the most sensational cases of their careers after a cop stumbles upon a dazed and bloody young man walking down a road. Now, accused of murder, the suspect claims demonic possession as his defense, forcing the Warrens into a supernatural inquiry unlike anything they've ever seen before. Yeah, that's motherfucking right. And so this movie, you know, I got introduced to the universe at Conjuring 2. I had never seen the first one, but the young lady that I went with, she informed me, like, you don't need them. I'm a stickler for watching the part 1 before I see the part 2, but she's like, it's its own story. Trust me, you don't really need it. They kind of give you an overview of what happened before at the beginning. I'm like, this is great. So, you know, just with it being a universe, and I had to go find out, where did this thread begin? Now, as a pothead and fellow cinephile myself, I definitely was into the fact that there were 7 films in this universe, including this newly released Conjuring 3. And so I was really in. I'm like, okay, I really want to find out where this story started and where it ends. And of course, it ends here in 1981 on The Conjuring 3. So, I mean, the films start off with The Nun. Now, The Nun is the first, and it took place in 1952 at a monastery in Romania. See, the big theory amongst all of the people that are into the Conjuring universe is that Irene actually manifests later. The theory is Irene is Lorraine Warren reincarnate. So that is something just to keep in mind when you're thinking about this entire universe as a whole. So the nun does come first. A nun chucks other nuns at a reverend and his young clairvoyant trainee nun, if you will. Now, the running theory behind Irene being Lorraine Warren is the actors playing both characters are sisters and look alike. The characters themselves would be the same age, are both religious, and they experience vision. So, you know, maybe a reach, maybe not. Who knows? We're waiting on the motherfucking directors to let us know really what's good. I mean, it's something to keep in mind. Gary Doberman wrote The Nun, and it was directed by Corin Hardy. Doberman is also known for writing the new It and It Chapter 2. So, you know, this guy's he's really good at this. And I think The Nun was it was a better film. It was one of the better films of the Annabelle series to me. I mean, the Conjuring series, excuse me. And speaking of Annabelle, comes the next film, Annabelle Creation. Yeah, that is supposedly taking place in 1955. Annabelle Creation is actually the prequel, of course, to the 2014 film Annabelle, just telling the story about the doll maker, Samuel Mullins, and his wife, and the orphanage that he opened his home to. So this one was really a pretty good story, man. I gotta give it to him. So the things about this is we spotted Valak, the demon nun, in the photograph in one of the, I can't remember the exact place of the film, but we did catch an image of Valak as the demon nun in a photograph when they were just looking through some of the old things. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of connections that are really like scattered throughout these films, and I'm gonna try to point them bitches out. You know what I'm saying? This is Potheads Love Movies, and that's what the fuck we do. So moving on to Annabelle, it's set 12 years later. So you know this is a lot longer down the line, and we run into Mia. Oh man, Mia, baby beater Mia. She fucking flipped out at the end, didn't she? Like, she's just banging the damn head in. I'm like, is this? She's just like, that doll is not doing that much damage to that fucking cradle. That's the baby. I knew it. But anyway, once again, spoilers, man. If you haven't seen it, you ain't seen it, man. Don't watch this video. Why are you here? But yeah, see, now the connection here is, of course, at the end of Annabelle, we see, of course, Janice, the girl with polio from Annabelle Creation. Yes, she also makes an appearance here in this film. So they literally tried their best over the years to continue this storyline. Like, it was a real point to make it a universe, and I didn't notice. I really didn't. I'm just like a lot of the other people out there that have just realized that it's 7 films in this series, because this next film we go into is 2013's The Conjuring. And so this is actually the first time we get to meet Ed and Lorraine Warren as just the fucking Ghostbusters for the most part. Like, they showing up, they shutting shit down, they calling in the priest, and they getting it done. You know what I'm saying? And this is our first time actually seeing them as they deal a little bit with Annabelle, because we actually get to see that they have her stored in a case towards the end inside of their paranormal activity room, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But they had her. They had her. And so now that we see in The Conjuring that they have Annabelle, Ed and Lorraine, we go into Annabelle Comes Home. And then Annabelle Comes Home just shows the immediate aftermath for the Warrens taking Annabelle for the nurses who were gifted the doll, and now they have it in their possession. Of course, this is a story set on their daughter, who is just a loser kid, loner, who everybody's afraid of because, you know, mom and dad hunt ghosts, you know. So yeah, man. So this one is pretty much her babysitter the day before her birthday, babysitting her, and they invite the friend over. Of course, the babysitter's friend is super interested in how weird the girl is and the parents and all that good shit, and she wants to bring her dad back, so she decides she's gonna go into the artifact room, the paranormal artifact room. I'm gonna go fuck with some of this shit and try to make my daddy talk to me. Stupid. And of course, you get the bullshit. Yeah, you get motherfucking Annabelle walking again and terrorizing a bunch of little kids. And, you know, I don't think any of them die. And this is where it gets a lot less scary. It's just cash grab from here out. Like, I don't really think this was really as good as it could have been. Now, according to rumor, there is a movie, Spanish release. It was The Curse of Llorna, set in 1977, that was supposed to be a piece of the Annabelle story, and they just say that because it's characters from the Conjuring universe that appeared as actors in this movie, and I don't really think that's part of the whole Annabelle Conjuring line. I just don't think so. So yeah, disregard that one. Anyway, we move on to 2016's The Conjuring 2, which is pretty much the aftermath, of course, from Annabelle. And they actually are investigating the Amityville murders, and the media firestorm ensues. And so it's pretty much set in the London suburb. It features single mother Peggy Hoggins and her family. The Conjuring 2 really ties into The Nun. Don't want to give it away too much. Go ahead and watch that, and you'll see exactly how The Conjuring 2 and The Nun kind of come together. And here we are, finally, at The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. based on the trial of Ernie Johnson, who in 1981 proclaimed his innocence against a murder charge by claiming he was possessed by a demon. And guess what? That boy got off. On that. On manslaughter. And that was real life. All because they called Ed and Lorraine Warren through. Yo, check this shit out. Document this shit. Check. Oh, I'm going to take the demon and I'm going to bring him into my own body. It's a go. Yeah, I did that. So not only did this film kind of do a shitty job at like really showing the true story, because I wanted to know more about like how the fuck this nigga really got off on murder by just saying he was possessed. I wanted to see more about that shit because it just seemed like it was too easy. They just gave too much fake for me to understand that. I really wanted to know. I really did. And I'm gonna look further into the case just because of that. But yeah, in this film, it all just comes together. Now, you want to talk about not scary at all? This is not scary at all, man. Not at all, man. But the story was great because we got to see a culmination, and how it all played out. And I want to get deeper into that, but not on this fucking video. Sorry, guys. We're going to drop another one again a little bit later. Hopefully, y'all tune in. I'm going to do a deep dive into all of the Easter eggs, full breakdown of The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. Right here on Potheads Love Movies. This is Jay Focus. Thanks.